What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to take a look at Cyberpunk. It's not going to be a full-blown review since it is such a long game. It's going to be more of my first impressions, but we'll see. I'm going to go over a lot of things anyway. First and foremost, I've been waiting forever for a game like this. The Cyberpunk setting is one of my favorite settings to be in. Off the top of my head, movies like The Matrix, anime Akira, and Blade Runner. So the fact that we can actually play a video game and interact in a setting like this is a really big deal for me, and I'm sure for a lot of you as well. Okay, with that out of the way, the first thing you're going to notice is the game's graphics. Jesus Christ, this is a really good looking game. Let me say, I am on PC. I know that the original PS4 and the Xbox One are having some issues right now. As of this recording, they released a patch which helped a bit. I think they're getting like 30 frames a second, but I am on PC. I'm averaging about 60 frames a second with high settings. The town you're in is called Night City, and it's pretty much what you would expect as far as the Cyberpunk setting, especially with the movies I mentioned earlier. Now, it's the daytime graphics that really surprised me. In movies it's always dark. You don't really get to see the town during the day, and the daytime graphics look really nice. It's colorful, pinks everywhere, billboards everywhere, lights everywhere, shadows from pedestrians, signs, buildings. It all gives it that real living feel, and I think we were all expecting that from the trailers that we've seen of the game. The game is definitely super immersive, and I believe that's a result of the first-person camera angle that they're using. And I know everybody was expecting third person, and so was I, but I'm getting used to it. It took me about 10 hours, and I'm completely used to the first-person camera angle. I don't really have a problem with it now. There's going to be times in the game where you're speaking to story characters, and I really like this scene in the bar where I'm speaking to some NPCs, and I have an angle on both of them. So the bartender's serving me a drink, and the main NPC is talking to me about the story. It really has almost like a VR feel. Like you feel inside the game. I really don't have another way to put it. I don't think a video on YouTube really does the game justice. I think you have to play this game in person in order to see what I'm talking about. But yeah, let's start from the beginning. You can create a character. You can pick any gender you'd like, and after you create your character, you do your beard, your eyes, your hair color, you get it all fancy. You pick cybernetic attachments. You can either pick from a nomad, street kid, or a corporal. I went with nomad for no particular reason other than I felt like street kid is too gang related. I feel like I did that already in GTA, and corporal is too typical cyberpunk. So I went with the nomad. They seem like a loyal bunch. So Nomad starts you off in the desert where you meet Jackie, and you make your way into the city by smuggling cargo. And that's where you get introduced to the game's dialogue system. You can win people over through dialogue, and also depending on what dialogue choices you do pick, it does have repercussions later on in the story. So on your way into the city, you get into a gunfight. So I'm happy to report that the shooting is actually very good. In the beginning, you obviously start off with weaker guns. The shooting does get better as the game goes on, as you unlock guns and you start tweaking their attributes. For like assault rifles, you can tweak pistols and shotguns, and even melee weapons actually. Yeah, there's actually swords in the game. It's a whole thing. It's got parrying systems. There's a fighting system with punching. There's a parrying system there. You won't be just shooting your way, guns blazing everywhere. There's a stealth system, which is actually the system that I gravitated mostly towards whenever I'm in a combat scenario. So typically it'll go down like this. You enter a room, you get warned that there's people in this room. So you can either approach it by hacking cameras and distracting enemies. You can hack enemies and cause them to be distracted, or you can blow them up even at times. And so you'll make your way to the next room by silent takedowns. It's pretty cool. They do add the hacking element to it, but it's nothing that we haven't seen in like a Batman Arkham Asylum. But who knows, there's a very large skill tree for stealth. The skills might be more elaborate than what we were used to. Again, it's still too early for me. The game feels good. The controls are very, very good. I recommend going into settings and tweaking the settings. I like a nice low setting for my aiming. I definitely recommend tweaking that to your liking. The sensitivity and controls definitely feels good. Picking up stuff around the world could be very, very annoying. I feel like your crosshair has to be right on the item you're picking up in order to pick it up. I do hope they patch that very soon. I mean, if anybody from CD Projekt Red is watching this, I doubt it. Fix that, please. Just let me walk over something and just have that the hitbox, I guess, be a lot bigger. And yes, expect patches. They actually released a patch today, 12/12/2020. They released a patch for consoles and PC that fixes a lot of things like quest glitches that people were getting stuck in quests, or they weren't getting 100% completion on certain quests. I don't know. I find the glitches actually pretty hilarious. I know I should expect more from this game, but I find the glitches pretty hilarious. The most I found was either floating cars or people people underground, which is pretty funny. I like that. I did get stuck in a gate. I think I have the footage of that. I'll show you here. I got stuck in a gate while driving my car. I barely hit this bum on the street. The cops are coming after me and I get stuck in a gate. Perfect timing, right? So then I get killed. Characters do an amazing job voice acting in this game. You can really tell that they cared about their job. They really respected the script. Nobody was really phoning it in. You know, I haven't ran into any characters that broke my immersion in the game. The weakest aspect for me in this game is gonna be the detective mode. Something else that I regret Batman games introducing into this world. And I know they did it in Witcher 3 a lot as well. But it's definitely stepped up exponentially in Cyberpunk. Crime scene investigating. You have to investigate AC ducts. You can investigate thermal patterns. You can investigate a person's laptop that was in that crime scene, and you can get details from there. I don't know. I just don't find that stuff entertaining. I get it. I don't know who finds it entertaining. If you find it entertaining, let me know why you think that's entertaining, but I can do totally without that. I only came across one major crime scene to investigate in about 20 hours, so maybe they aren't relying too heavily on that, which I hope so. The game throws so many systems at you all at once. There's so much going on. Character names, city names, terminology, hacking, stealth. And even at that, they still don't explain really everything you do need to know. For example, I ran into a situation during a battle where my character kept overheating and I had no idea why he was overheating. I thought it was my gun overheating, like in Halo or something, where you shoot it for too long. So I stopped shooting, but no, I still kept getting overheated. It turns out it was a camera that was hacking me and it was overheating me. So I actually had to Google that, unfortunately. And I hate Googling things when I play games, but I had to Google it because it was driving me nuts. So I Googled it. The camera hacks you, it overheats you, and also some enemies can do it too. Before you get into a fight, that's what I typically do now. I look above and I try to take out cameras so I don't run into that annoying issue. But what I'm saying is the game could have told me that, but it never really did unless I missed it, but I don't think I did. But other than that, guys, I'm really enjoying this game. I'm taking my time. I'm not rushing. Like I said, I waited a long time to have a world like this where I can just completely immerse myself in, and I'm doing side quests however they come up. Wherever I walk around, I'm investigating everything, talking to everybody. I'm not rushing the main story missions. It's gonna be good. I hope we do get some nice DLC like how they did in The Witcher 3 with I think the red wine DLC or something like that, something with wine. I know they plan on coming out with multiplayer. Again, that's gonna be super badass. I have some people who I want to play with. I think exploring this world in multiplayer would be totally cool, obviously. So yeah, guys, that's what I think so far about Cyberpunk 2077. So I'm sorry, guys, I know that this is not a full review, but I figured I'd get something out to my viewers. in case they wanted to know what I think about the game. If you've been following Cyberpunk, I don't think you need me to convince you that to buy the game. So this is more for my viewers and anybody who's coming into my channel new that want to hear my thoughts on it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.